Okay, Mindful Monday, here we go. When you put yourself first, but you don't know what to do. Because throughout your entire life, you haven't been putting yourself first. You've been putting everyone else first. There is this, limbo that I have kind of discovered, where it's like, after years and years of self-neglect and just not putting myself first, when I do finally put myself first, I kind of find myself in a state of just sometimes not knowing what to do, because I was so used to putting everyone else first and not even doing for myself, right? That, the level of self-neglect is so deep. It's like an ocean. You can get lost in it. And when you get lost in it, and then you start to find yourself, it's almost like you don't know what to do with yourself, right? It's like you go, you know what? I'm going to say no to everyone. I'm going to put myself first. Let's see how you all like it, right? And then you finally do it, right? And then you're just kind of sitting with yourself and you're like, crickets. What the fuck do I do with myself? And you're just kind of confused. And then because you're so used to putting everyone else first, the time that you actually give yourself, you don't really know where it goes. And then you kind of just go back to the same thing of before, of just neglecting yourself, neglecting your needs, not saying no when you need to, not saying yes when you need to. And it's just kind of strange. It's comedic in the beginning, but then after a while, when you sit with yourself enough, I'll talk about it from first person. When I sit with myself enough, I realize that there's this massive fucking void that I almost don't know what to do with, right? But what I understand is that sitting with that void is where this all begins, because there are so many answers in that. That void in and of itself is the self-neglect. It's the choosing of the self. It's everything and nothing. It's nearly paradoxical, because it's an entire space of awareness that I almost don't know what to do with. And I recognize that that is in and of itself a space of awareness that I need to sit in, because when I do sit in it, it will show me a lot about myself. It's kind of strange to say that after years of self-neglect and not putting myself first and literally being available for everyone else 24/7 and dropping everything on a dime for everyone else, you learn, I'll talk from my own point of view, I learned that way of living, and actually putting myself first is kind of strange because of that, But then what I see is that sitting in that space of awareness and really just feeling everything, because there's a lot to feel, there's so much to feel, is key. It's key. And I see that that's what I need to do for myself, especially on behalf of healing and choosing differently. Because for some reason, it's challenging for me, sometimes, not always, but sometimes,